a URL, not a method, right? The route is where is what you will put in the action attribute of your form tag. So wherever you want the information to go, once the user presses submit, is where you is defined right here, /result. So I'm saying that there's going to be a route called result, where this information should be sent. Okay, so here's my form, action is result, and now I need your name, so let's do label here, label, I'll call it name, and here's your name. Everybody remember this? Did we do forms in WebFun? Yeah, okay. Here's my label, so I'll do an input here, and if I scroll down, type text, it'll save me a little bit of typing. Type input :text. You know what? Maybe I could just type input :text instead of scrolling. Let's try that. Input :text. Look, that works too. So that's cool. Okay, so label for name. So this will match your ID. The labels for attribute matches your inputs ID attribute. Okay? So here's my for, so I'm just going to copy and paste so I know that they match. My name is going to be probably the same thing. I mean, why get myself too confused? So I'm going to give my input a name of name and an ID of name. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. And there I have it. Your name is my label. This is my label here. Let's make this bigger too. This is my label here, and here's my input. Okay? So let's keep going here. What else do I need? You don't need to see the Borderlands stuff. Gold, routing, Dojo certificate. Okay. So we have Dojo location, and then this is a drop-down menu. So if we don't remember how to do the drop-down menus, it's selects and options. So let's give it a label as well. So this label will be for, let's say, location. Location, and it's Dojo location. So Dojo location. Let's put columns here too. Looks nicer. Okay. So now here's where I will start my drop-down, and it's a select. So here's select, and the name is, let's make the name and the ID the same again, location, location. In here I'll have a few different options. This one will be Chicago, and say Chicago, okay? And let's make one, I don't know, Orange County. Copy that, paste here. And then we'll make the last one be Seattle. Seattle. Okay, so what did I do here? I made a select box, and the select box has a few different options that you could choose from. This is where you display what it will say on the actual menu. And this is where you define what will be sent in the post request. Okay? So let's save that and refresh, see what it looks like. There it is. Location, Chicago, Orange County, Seattle, Dojo location. And we're not starting on another line here, so let me go ahead and put in Bootstrap. I can't take it when things don't look pretty. So let's do that by copying this link on getbootstrap.com. I'm going to put that in the head of my document, anywhere in the head of my document, it doesn't matter. As long as it's between the opening and closing heads. So I paste that in. Let's go ahead and refresh it. So I got new fonts here and kind of a new look to the other input elements. So let's go ahead and opt even more into the Bootstrap classes. I know that form control, that's form dash control, is pretty much across the board for opting in to the Bootstrap classes of a form. So here's my input. I'm going to just give it a class of form control and see if that does it. It does. So I have your name on one line and then my input on the next. Let's make that smaller. Okay. So here's Dojo location Chicago. Let me just go ahead and look up forms here on Bootstrap, and then I'll just search for select. Here's select menu. Okay, so select takes a different class. Select looks like it takes a class called custom select. I'm going to copy that and just paste it in here. There's my class of custom select. Let's see how that looks. And there's that. And now it's on the edges of my browser window, so let's get it off the edge by putting it in a div with a class of container. Div.container is the shortcut to do that. There's my div with a class of container. I'm going to grab that ending div and put everything on the page within. So let's format the document. So there we see I have a div with a class container that contains everything on my page. Here's the end of it. I got my rainbow indent here working for me, which is great. Doesn't look like anything's messed up. Let's go ahead and refresh. And now it's off the page. So that looks nicer, right? Here's Chicago, Orange County, Seattle. All right, what's next? I have a favorite language here. So let's put favorite language. And I know it's going to look fairly similar to the thing before it, so I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to paste it. And I'll just change what I need to change. Boom, boom, boom. I copied all of these instances of the word location by pressing Control D. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that and call it, what am I doing? What is it?
Favorite language.
Language, okay, here's language. So I change it everywhere. Now if I want to keep that capitalized, I'll just do that. And then let's have Python, and this will be Python. And then we'll have, I don't have to, I could do the same thing here. Just Control D, highlight both of them. And let's say JavaScript. And let's Command D on these guys. Whoops. Why is it selecting the one above? Is it? It's not selecting this one. That's odd.
Or spelled different.
Spelled different, yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
C-L.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's
Two L's instead of two T's.
How do you spell it? Is that how you spell
No, there's two T's.
it? Two T's?
Yeah.
Two T's, one L?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
It all looks like to me.
All right, there you go. All right, so let's do CSS here. All right, looks like everything's cool here. Let's go ahead and refresh and see what we get. Okay, your name, Dojo location, Dojo language, and Python. It looks like there should be some more room between the inputs and the labels, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
So let me go ahead and put a little bit of room on the bottom of those inputs. To do that, I'll add a class to the input. I'll just say margin bottom 3. Let's try that on one of them, see if it works. There you go. So now there's more separation. So now that I know that I like the way that it looks, I'll just go ahead and add it on all of the other thingies. So here's my class, paste it in there. Here's my class for the language, paste it in there. So now I got some space. All right, so far so good?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now I need a text area, right? Is comment optional? Let's look up text area, So text area does take form control. So let's put my text area in. Text area. The name will be, what is it supposed to be? Comment. So I'll say comment. ID will be the same thing, comment. And then columns and rows. Columns, I think when you opt into the Bootstrap class, columns are created for you automatically. And rows, I'll leave it 10. But I forgot my label, so let's do the label. And this is for comment. And then this is supposed to say comment optional. Comment optional. There's that. Let's see what that looks like. There's that. Oh, I forgot to say, forgot to give it the class of form control. So here's class form dash control. And there we go. Much better. Okay. Now you can see the whole thing on one page. Let's give it less rows. It's kind of too big for me, so I'll do 5 instead of 10. And there, that's much more better. That's much more manageable. All right, now let's put my button in there. I'm gonna do button. Oops. Well, let's try that trick that we just learned. Let's do button, colon, submit. And it makes a button of type submit. That's great. So we'll do submit in here. We'll opt into the Bootstrap classes. We could look it up, but I know it's BTN. But just so you can see, I'll just search in the documentation on Bootstrap for button. Here's buttons. And here we go. Predefined button styles. And the class is BTN to opt in. And then primary, secondary, etc. for the colors that you want to use. So let's use this one, BTN and BTN primary. That's 2 classes. Class equal BTN and BTN primary. And let's see how that looks. And there it is. I don't like it right on the edge of there. So let me give my MB3 class to my text area. So it has a margin on its bottom. And there you go. All right, so now I have what this, I have what the first wireframe is supposed to look like. Well, it actually has a border around here too, so let's go ahead and put a border in there. What do you say? Let's do another div here, and we'll give it a class of, I think it's border. And then I'll close it before the other one closes. Let's format it. Let's see if that works. There's a border around it now, but now it's on the edges, so let's give it some padding. Let's do P3. That's padding free, and also it's right on the top. So let's take the container off the top, margin top 3. And there we go. So let's round it too, and let's make it dark. Here's border. I'm going to make my border dark by giving it a class of border dash dark, and make it rounded by giving it a class of rounded. So there it is. Lickety split, right? For Bootstrap,
Yeah.
lickety friggin' split.
Yeah.
I encourage you to learn Bootstrap and learn just a few things here and there. Try to implement 1 new class per assignment, and you'll be good to go by the end.
Yeah.
So look at how much, how little effort it took for me to get my page looking nice. Okay, so here's that. So far, so good, right? So now let's get into grabbing stuff from here and rendering it on a different page. Okay, so in my HTML, I told it to go to this route whenever somebody presses submit. So anything of type submit, so a button of type submit inside the form will go to the action that's defined. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever you have defined in your action, that will be the route that it goes to when you hit submit. I'm missing something else in here. Does anybody know what I'm missing? Method. So I'm missing my method. Method. Oh, Okay, I think if you, I don't know what the default is if you leave that out, it might error out or something like that, but just make sure you have your action and your method in your form tag, okay? So now that I have this result route, I better make it, right? We're gonna trace this information from beginning to end, this cycle here. So result is what I wanna make first because that's the first thing that will be hit when the submit button is pressed. So I'm gonna make this result route. Let me open up the app urls.py and I'll make a new URL by just copying and pasting, boom, boom. And where am I gonna write result?
Right behind the carrot.
Right behind the caret before the dollar. I need that dollar. All right, so here's result. So this means localhost 8000 / result and nothing else. Okay? And now I want to tell it to go to a specific method. Let's just call the method result. Does it make sense? So now in my views.py, I better make sure that I have a result method. I do not, so let's make it. Let's just copy and paste this. Change this to result. And here's my render request. We'll go to a different page now, result.html, and let me make result.html. Let's close that up. Let's make result.html from scratch. So make sure you're in your templates. Make sure it's highlighted so that when you create a new file, it is created in your templates folder. And I'm going to call this result.html because that's what I call it over here. Enter there, give myself a boilerplate HTML right there. I'll call this Dojo survey results. And for now, let me just put an H1 here. Oops. Let me just put an H1 in here that says results so that I know when I hit submit, if I see results, I know I'm going to the right spot. All right? So let's refresh this. Let's hit submit. Oh, I always forget that. The CSRF verification failed, request aborted. So this token is missing, and I forget that every time. So right here it tells you what you should have added after every form tag, and it's this curly %CSRF underscore token, then %curly inside each form. So let me copy that. I'll go back to my code, and I'll make sure in my index.html that my form tag is followed by that. Okay?
Okay.
So there's that, and it's for security purposes. So let's try that again. We'll go back to index.html. Let's make this a little bit smaller so you can see. Okay? And let's just hit submit. Now I guess we go to results. So I have set up my route correctly that leads to the method that renders the page. Okay? That's how we traced it here. So my index.html's form, let's open up the index.html form. When the form is submitted, it goes to result. Result goes to views.result. Views.result renders result.html, and here's result.html. Cool?
Yeah.
That's the path that you guys got to go through to try to stamp out any bugs in your program. Just trace the information from beginning to end, and you'll find the culprit. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. So let's display the results here now. We're not using session or anything, right? We're just putting everything in context. Okay, so let's make, what's the easiest way to do it? Let's try it this way. We'll do context equal. And you remember everything that you want to render on the front end in your HTML has to be sent over in an object called context. So here's my object called context. I'll say context equal, and then this empty curly braces. And within the curly braces, I'll create some keys. I'll say name, colon, and then I'll say request dot post in capitals, and then in here, I want to put the name that I gave my input. So here's the name attribute of the information that I'm trying to capture. Name, and coincidentally, it's also named name. So let's put name in the key. Oh, name, just like that. So here's my key, here's my value. My value is whatever I named, whatever is in the attribute, in the name attribute, which is confusing. But that's how you do it. Okay? So now I have sent over whatever the user entered in the name input on the form inside this key called name, inside this object called context, and I'm sending it over to the template right after I name the template. In result, what do I have to do to show whatever that person put in name?
Put their name.
Curly braces, how many?
Two.
Two. And then what would I write here?
Name.
Name. Right. Simple as that. Right? Let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna go to index. I'm gonna put some name in here. Narciso is my name. Let's submit. There it is. Narciso. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
Let's try the other one. So in here, I will also make some other stuff. Remember, we got a comma that separates key value pairs inside our dictionaries. So here's my dictionary. I got a key, I got a value, I got a comma. Make sure you follow that pattern for every new key value pair you want to enter into your context object. So here is location, and I'll say request dot post whatever I name that input. I name that input location. So let's copy that. In quotes, keys are always in quotes. So this is a key as well, but it's inside a value. So that, I don't know if that's confusing or not, but post is an object, as we saw from this morning, post is an object inside the request object. So this is a key that you created inside the post object. And you created that key by giving it a name attribute. Make sense? Okay. Let's make another one for language. I'll go language. There's that. So let's see if those three things work. See Narciso logo. I'll say I'm in Orange County. My favorite language is JavaScript. Didn't work. I didn't put that stuff on the HTML, did I?
Mm-mm.
No.
Result. Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's try it again. What do I put here if I want to see the location?
Location.
Location. What do I put here if I want to see the language? Language. Put that stuff in again. Orange County, JavaScript, submit. There we go. Narciso logo, Orange County, JavaScript. Let's put stuff in there for comments. Comments. Oops. Comments. And then here will be request dot post comments. Try that out. Narciso, Orange County, CSS. This is a comment. Oh, comments, something's wrong. So this multi-value tick key error you will see all the time. What it means is it's looking for a key, and it's the key that it's looking for is called comments. It's telling me that it doesn't exist. Okay? So let's find out why or where I forgot to put it. So here's comments. Let's scroll down and see where it says it's not correct. So views.py is where I'm saying that it exists. Views.py line 11 is where I'm saying that it exists. Saying request.post comments. Look for it. Look in the post object for a key called comments. Let's take a look. Comment. Oh, I call it comment. S's will trip you up, y'all. All right. So let's get rid of both of these S's. And let's try it again. Refresh it. Narciso logo. I'll be in Seattle this time. CSS. I like Seattle. Whoops. I'm not seeing it. Let's submit it. And I don't see my comment anymore. Did I forget any? What did I forget? Say again?
Comment.
Oh, comment. Aha. Let's continue.
Here it is.
I like Seattle. Here it is. I like Seattle. Okay. So I can further pretty this one up. They want it in a bordered thingy here as well. So let me just zip through that real quick for you guys. So here is my container. Let me format. And I don't think I put Bootstrap in here yet, so let me go grab Bootstrap. Copy the link, pop it in the head. And let's make sure that that works. There it is. Let me also put it in a bordered div, so div.border. And then I also want to border my color of the border to be dark. I want it to have rounded and a padding of 3. There's that, and let's get this off the top. MT3. There it is, and then I do want to have breaks in here, don't I? Let's see. Submitted info. So it doesn't say results. It should say submitted info. And then let's make this underlined right here. Let's give it a U. U for underline. Submitted info. And let's put some breaks in here. That's border. DR. Break. Oops. Break. And there we go. And that's basically what it, oh, I have name, I'm not gonna do that. So, or should I do that? Well, you guys know how to do that. Okay? So, any questions with that?
I didn't know you could label. That's why I was stuck at, I was putting it in a wrong.
Okay,
I
yeah,
mean, I had everything in there, but I didn't have to label.
okay. Yeah, inputs will need a label for the user, right? If you want to know what the user is supposed to put in that text area or text box, you got to give it a label. So if we notice here, if I refresh this page, we get this confirm form resubmission, right? That's because we are rendering on a post request. That is a no-no. We should never render on a post request, but rendering a redirect will come later. Returning a redirect will come later in the plan.
we should never render on